Hello, everyone, and welcome to week one of the NECC action. I am here, Chase Nuclear Nukem with Alt Charge, and we are excited to head over to the Navigators division, where we're going to see Huntington Esports take on Greenville University this week. Alt Charge, we're here for 2 blocks. I'm bringing the energy. Tell me, where you at? Are you hype? What's going on? How you doing, my friend?
Oh, Nuke, I'm doing great. You know I'm ready for this one. Love getting back in the action here on the NECC. Pretty excited to watch this Navigators one because Greenville is a team that didn't compete in the NECC last semester, but they have been in the conference before. And then Huntington Esports is making their debut tonight. So both of these teams are coming in fresh to the competition, looking to set the tone for the season. And honestly, they should be rocking it with a bang. What are you looking to see tonight in terms of the level of competition?
Well, I'm looking for some Michael Bay action personally because, we got a little bit of the insider knowledge here at the NECC. And as I'm looking through Huntington Esports roster, a primary amount of their roster, a majority of them are film production majors. So I'm looking for the booms. I'm looking for the bangs. I'm looking for the earth shatters, the dead eyes. I'm waiting to see all of it be put out on the table by Huntington Esports. But like you said, I think it could go on either side of the teams. Tell me, Yelk, tell me, what maps are we going into today?
Well, it's a little bit different this semester, Nuke. If you're familiar with the NECC, you know that regular season used to be just 3 maps, but now we're going over to the best of 5 format. First to 3 map wins the game, and if there's a 3-0 or a 3-1, no maps will be played after that. But tonight we've got Busan for the first control map, and then we'll head over to Hybrid. It's going to be Blizzard World. Our payload and third map will be Dorado. Back over to Hybrid for map 4, Hollywood, one of my favorites, and then map 5 going to be Nepal on control. And if there is a tiebreaker, it will be payload, and that's Route 66. And Nuke, you might have noticed no 2CP. How do you feel about that?
Oh my gosh, the gods have blessed us. The NECC staff have heard everyone's feedback. We know no one is a huge fan of 2CP, nor is it realistic to really have it in the map pool, knowing that in the future it's not going to be in Overwatch 2. So for the future of the game and for competitive integrity's sake, the NECC has listened to everyone in the conference and their thoughts, their comments, their feedback, and we are going to be taking it out, right? So I think that's a brilliant change on my part, not on my part, on NECC's part. In my opinion, I think that it's also better to move to a best of 5 format as well. We're going straight into the rosters, as you can see in front of us on Huntington Esports. We have Prozac, T-Brain, Trashboat, Ginger, Toxic, and Michael. Like I said, most of them film production majors, so I am eager to see the bangs and the booms.
Yeah, and I got the chance to talk with Zach a little bit before this game, and he's looking to basically get the team at a little bit better at communication and just staying in the game for the long game. He knows that like this team can execute plays very well, but if things aren't going their way, they have a tendency to fall apart. So that's going to be one of the things they're working on this season. Now over to the side of Greenville. Their starting lineup looks like this: Joe Cool, Smokescreen, Sigma, Lucky Laddie, Croana, and Aquaman. Nuke, some awesome gamer tags here. I'm excited to start shouting them with you.
100%. Croana is pretty cool. I've not heard that name at all, I think, ever before. And Blockwaman is also a pretty unique name. Listen, we've been in this long enough. We love throwing the puns around. And I think I got a couple I'm slipping out of my back pocket for this series. I know, I'm not going to lie.
I know you do. You're just sitting on them already.
You know it. You know it. But the action is going to be coming up here very soon. Tell me, comp-wise, what are you looking for tonight?
Well, being Navigators Division and the first map being Busan, those are 3 points that can kind of differ a lot. We could see one team break out a Wrecking Ball comp, and one team break out like a pretty traditional Rhine Zarya. Honestly, on these maps, first game of the season, you're just looking to use what you feel like you're strong at coming out of those preliminary games in the preseason. So honestly, we're going to get a pretty good taste of what both of these two teams feel that they're good at on this very first map. You have Rhine Zarya, and on the side of Greenville, a Reinhardt Wrecking Ball. So that's a comp that can play pretty well, very split up, as long as Sigma gets a lot of value on himself. And Blockwoman and Joe Cool are right behind Lucky Laddie, just supporting that Reinhardt with a ton of damage, and they are on the right heroes to do so.
Yeah, that's really interesting seeing the Reinhardt paired with the Hammond on this map, because I know that it's a very popular strat right now to be running Wrecking Ball as sort of a pseudo or primary dive comp. So seeing the Reinhardt paired with that, going to be interesting going up against a full Brawl comp on the side of Huntington Esports. But looks like they're going to get the TP out. Huntington Esports is going to get to the point first due to that TP and having a Lucio on their team.
Yeah, and a lot of times getting to the point first can pay its dividends here. Greenville probably running Sigma on that Wrecking Ball. That's got to be tricky to say all night long, but got to be having Sigma on that Wrecking Ball for some contest plays, and Lucky Laddie just going in with the charge like a running back. Picks up the first kill of the night, but quickly capitalized on as T-Brain takes him down. That often happens when a Reinhardt goes in like that. Great headshot there from Joku, but Prozac comes around the outside and sits him down.
Yeah, didn't quite get much more value out of that one headshot, but it did turn a little bit in the favor of Greenville. It looks like Greenville's not going to be able to contest this point. However, the Mercy is going to try to get some value off of Sigma, the Hammond. Not much going to happen after that. I think at this point, Greenville needs to regroup and seriously consider if this comp is going to work in their favor. If so, they have to play it to the strengths of the comp. Find the pick with the Hammond, distract the backline, make that Reinhardt turn around, and then blast him with that Junkrat.
Sigma will have this great initiating ultimate coming up pretty soon at 95% to the minefield. Goes in and slams, but gets caught by the stun out of Prozac. And just like that, one tank taken care of. Now it's going to be up to Huntington Esports to continue to defend here with the ultimates they've got. That's a big shatter, lands onto 3, make it 4. Look at that, T-Brain with a highlight reel play to open up the night.
Wow, yeah, he's he's singing those sweet tunes, hitting them down. That was a fat earth shatter, and that's what we love to see from Huntington, really showing their dominance on this first map. They are playing around their comp, which is a very traditional comp. I think a little bit better than the pseudo comp we're seeing from Greenville. This is their setting.
Greenville. Sorry, Nuke. I was just going to point out that Greenville switched over to the Tracer, which is going to help out their comp a little bit here, but each fight it seems like they're losing one member relatively early.
Yeah, it does, and now they're playing at a disadvantage when they are going in these engagements. Massive Deadeye from Prozac on the cool Cassidy, getting in the backline. Trash Boat sitting on the grab. Is it going to happen? Looks like it's not really necessary. Ult charge, I mean, Huntington Esports is not even needing to use any of these ults at their disposal. They're going to take the point with Graviton Surge and 2 other ultimates online. That's a testament to how well they had that on lock.
Yeah, and I would like to see us go over to Sanctuary for our second point of this Busan map, and that is actually the case. So this is a great look for Greenville to come back into this game, because I feel like if we went over to Mecha Base, Ginger on the Symmetra could really lock down that objective and get Huntington off to a 2-0 sweep for the start of this one. But this map in particular seems like it's going to suit the composition that Greenville likes to play a lot more, even though they did just swap over to the Reinhardt Zarya themselves.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to match tit for tat. Huntington going to have the Brawl comp. Greenville also throwing out a Brawl comp of their own. But 2 very different compositions if you look at the DPS and the healers in these lineups. I think that Greenville is going to have, it's going to be a little bit more versatile having that Genji, but there's a lot of risk and reward there. If you're able to get those massive ultimates out, you can pick apart the Huntington backline, but Genji, not really at top of the meta right now, I would say. You have a lot of more favorable picks over him.
He is one of those heroes that can go in and just duel someone out just based on skill alone, but going up against the composition where Ginger's on this Symmetra, Trash Boat is on the Zarya, usually having high energy, those are 2 beams that Genji can't deflect, so that's a lot of damage that he just cannot do much about when he goes in for one of those deep dives. Now we got both Reinhardts spinning back and forth, but it looks like the front line is pretty stable here, and it looks like T-Brain had the shatter online, looking like a kid in a candy store, but gets a little too aggressive there. It doesn't matter, though, because Ginger is there with the level 3 beam, and it's a microwave coming out of the point here. Huntington Esports still hold.
Yeah, T-Brain is hitting all of these shatters tonight. I don't think he's missed the mark once. And Huntington Esports not really needing to capitalize much off of it. I mean, if Reinhardt is in your face, he hits a shatter on 3, it takes 2 or 3 swings and your team's wiped. So I think Greenville has to adjust to that, or Sigma's got to play with that shield up in their face a lot more.
I think you're right. I mean, Sigma did a good job on that last one, just getting the shield in the way. T-Brain with a out-of-town fire strike that connects on the smoke screen in that high noon from a great angle. Prozac really showing off the skills on the Cassidy here. Going to continue this hold for Huntington Esports as they are looking solid with about 60% completed.
Yeah, and they're holding this choke expertly. Greenville is going to have a hard time getting through this choke point, so, you know, the natural course of action is to go around it, pick another route. That's the worst possible thing you can do in Overwatch, is just attack the same point over and over, because they have defense set up, they're ready to go. I think Greenville recognizes this now, and they're going to move toward the temple on the left of Sanctuary.
Yeah, this is a much better look, playing the natural cover, not going to take as much damage on their way to the fight this time. Lucky Laddie just peeking around the outside on the Winston, looking for a chance to dive in. That Shatter has a shield in the way, but Sigma moves in regardless of the amplification matrix right in his face. We've got some flanks on the outside. Lucky Laddie goes down, but it looks like he's made some space. Have to get the healing here onto Sigma to keep him alive. That's a great immortality field, but the healing just might not be enough here. T-Brain eyeing up another Earth Shatter.
Ooh, and it does get stunned out. Looks like Trash Boat gonna try to stop the DPS moving in, or sorry, the Baptiste moving in from the front. A cheeky Graviton Surge gonna get thrown out to ensure that there is no defense coming out from the side of Greenville. Huntington is going to take the first map.
Huntington winning their first map in their debut game, have to be happy with that. Play of the game goes to Prozac, and honestly, he was the most impressive player to me. I mean, great Reinhardt play as well from T-Brain for Huntington, but Prozac really keeping everyone at Greenville at bay with a lot of great stun cooldowns and obviously hitting the shots like you can see here. No high noon needed for the play of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Prozac did a great job. I think looking at both of the comps and how they were positioned, I think Huntington just had the better positioning overall in their engages, and their defenses on point when you're looking at a control map like this. And Greenville, unfortunately, weren't able to get in when they had chances and opportunities arise to use their ultimates and pair them together. The Earth Shatters weren't connecting. I don't even think we saw a Dragon Strike come out. Honestly, I didn't see or hear anything. And Prozac was just sitting behind shield doing what a Cole Cassidy does best.
Yeah, he certainly was. New going into our next map here, Blizzard World. The adjustment that I would like to see Greenville make is maybe put on a builder of their own. Maybe not a Symmetra, but I'm thinking this is a team that could really benefit from a Torbjorn, especially in the division we're in. That's a hero that carries a lot of value into every single game. I know you're laughing, but you know it's true. In Navigators, Torbjorn is a machine.
I knew you were going to suggest Torbjorn. I'm
love
sitting
Torb.
here in my head thinking, maybe he's going to say any other builder in the game but Symmetra. And then I think, and I'm like, well, that narrows it down. That leaves one. So I think any comp change could do them justice as long as they play around their comp. Right. And I think that's where Greenville fell a little bit short. They weren't playing to the strengths of the Wrecking Ball comp when they were utilizing it. I think they could have stayed on the Tracer a little bit longer and looked for some picks in the backline. You identified that the Reinhardt, the Zarya, and the Cole Cassidy were the main problems. So look to the healers, right? Look at the Baptiste, look at the Lucio, take them out if you need to. But you have to be able to adapt around each other and play to each other's strengths. And I think that Greenville showed potential to be able to do that. They just haven't quite found the locking key yet to make that happen.
Yeah, Nuke, I think there was always just one piece missing, and that can happen on these opening games of the season. Teams are coming out of hot practices and preseason games where you can get away with some broken compositions where it's 5 out of 6 members on the right heroes, but like we were seeing there for Greenville on the Wrecking Ball, getting some value was Sigma on that Hammond hero, but still just not a lot of coordination with the DPS that were filling the rest of that composition. And then when they were on Run Zarya, they had the Genji pick, which you really can't get too much value with the Death Ball. You can't quite go in for the dives, especially when you're lacking the Lucio. So I'm looking for Greenville to just get some more comps together, just a 6-man comp across the board, and see if they can play the fundamentals here.
Yeah, and don't get picked. It's crazy. As a coach, that's my number one advice I give my players is just don't die, right? So don't get picked. It's
Backing up is powerful if it keeps you alive. Backing up is so OP.
so very powerful. I could not agree more. We're gonna go straight into map 2.
Ooh, fancy observing. That's Carol on the ops. That was nice. I completely forgot that part of the map existed.
Man, sheesh, man, I'm gonna have to go get my cleaning materials because that was pretty clean. Not gonna lie. Great production all around from NECC staff here. We got Michael and Carol both, doing everything that they can on the back end to bring to you the quality of production that we're able to here at the NECC. Huge shout outs to them. And they do this all day, every day. They are very dedicated to the work that we do here. But enough of that, right? I mean, I think if you've tuned in long enough, you know that they're dedicated. The question is Greenville dedicated to the set? Are they going to turn it around?
Nuke, honestly, Greenville's comp is looking a lot better here. You've got the double shields. You threw on a May, so getting in for this attacking Huntington team is going to be very difficult. There's a lot in the way. You have a mercy-pocketed soldier. They are running right up to the high ground, and Joe Cool gets dude. Prozac just speed boosts right up to him, and they've got 2 quick picks. This attacking team, I mean, there was a lot of obstacles in the way, but they have made short work of those.
Yeah, T-Brain now on the hog as well. I am interested to see some of these hook picks and if they can find value off of it. It seemed as though they didn't need it at all between Ginger and Prozac taking the front line, if you will, and getting the picks needed to secure that first point in less than, what was that, 15, 20 seconds?
Yeah, that was a 20-second take, which is about as fast as you can do it considering how long the walk is from spawn. But this Huntington team, not a traditional death ball in the sense there's no Reinhardt, but if this team is playing around their Roadhog, playing around their Sigma, they've got 2 stunts to work with, a May to split off the team, and then Ginger on the Reaper just can deal some massive burst damage. Joe Cool gets hooked and absolutely deleted.
Yeah, and Greenville now backing up as a team, but if you notice, you'll see that, the picks that came out, Huntington that were able to grab were because Greenville was split. While there's no Cole Cassidy's on the field, it looks like they got a lot of Cowboys wanting to do these 1v1s, and I don't think that's going to be beneficial for their comp.
Yeah, Nuke, you did touch on this point a little bit last map, but Greenville playing a very linear game, just really taking one angle at a time, and it's usually the main angle. Sigma there goes up for the ultimate from the high ground. That's the first time I've seen this team open up an alternate angle, and they've got to do more of that. A great job winning this fight by controlling multiple angles, but Huntington is only down 1 player, and Nuke, again, that's the power of backing up. They're going to get back into this fight so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Only using the Merciless Valkyrie to sustain the team as well was great stability on their part to ensure that they didn't need to waste all their ultimates, all of their economy to make that happen. Huntington, though, coming up with 4 ultimates, almost all 6 online. Greenville is gonna have to go to Costco and find some value here.
And the May ultimate gets thrown in deep from Prozac. I love how he's just chucking that way into center field. It's going to freeze up 4, but Lucky Laddie on the other end of things holding the front line, finding 2 picks, and we've got ourselves an even fight. Riptire coming in from the top turnbuckle. It actually gets hooked by T-Brain. What a risky play, and it pays off.
Wow, yeah, I mean, you could have detonated it right after that hook, and that would have been a disaster for Huntington Esports. But T-Brain bringing the T-Pain, Sade hitting those hooks. This is a fun team to watch. Huntington knows what they're doing, picking the back line through the smoke screen. T-Pain just obliterating the Greenville backline.
He is swagging out this game, hopping onto the Roadhog and calling all challengers. This team is cutting through Blizzard World like butter. 4:45 up on the clock to take 3rd point.
Wow, and that with 5 minutes left to get through this second half of the map, Greenville's got to find a choke point and set up some tents because Huntington is rolling down the street and nothing is stopping them.
You're absolutely right, and Huntington just has the ultimates to work with too. Greenville is going to have to find some massive value with the Death Blossom coming up shortly, and Sigma has done a good job of landing those fluxes onto many members of Huntington, but not a lot of follow-up damage has been there. Now we got Ginger going in from the top rope, sending the Death Blossom, going to find at least 2, helping with the 3rd kill there, and Huntington keeps the pedal to the floor.
I was actually just about to compliment Huntington's ability to recognize ult economy, right? Because they held on to 4 or 5 ultimates for such a long time, and that Death Blossom, while it was really good, they didn't really need to use their Graviton Surge, or sorry, Flux there. This Sigma, though, actually on the Sigma now, eating all of T-Brain's ultimate, doing a good job trying to hold this defense. We're going to see Lucio come out, drop the beat for Huntington as they're continuing this push. A lot of them gets purpled, and Trash Boat is going to fall. But Greenville, only 2 on the payload. It is not looking good for our boys in blue.
And for Huntington, Doxic Sound Barrier, that was a great use of the ultimate coming out from her, just to make sure that team was fully supported, so they had what they needed to close out this map with a huge time bank. They did lose 1 member there, but that Sound Barrier alone kept them in that fight and got them the 3rd point with over 3 minutes. That is a huge take for just their 2nd map ever in the NECC.
Yeah, I mean, they are coming out and showing dominance. It looks as though they came into the set very ready. And something that I'd like to point out in terms of just watching both of these teams interact is communication. I feel like Huntington is doing a better job peeling when Greenville is able to get through, but you're not seeing that really reciprocated when Huntington's able to get through to Greenville. I will say it looks like the tank line is pretty much being the main shot callers for Greenville. Every time we've seen them back up, it's been around that tank line. So that's good to see. However, it shouldn't take 1 to 2 picks to get to that point, right? So I think if Greenville's able to really refine their communication and how they're approaching these fights and really, like you said, backing out of these fights, they could turn the series around. But as of right now, Huntington, like I said, showing their dominance.
Yeah, they really are, and their schedule for practices is really paying off. Again, talking to Prozac before the game, he said it looks like a 2-hour practice on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just in preparation, and kind of everything revolving around their Thursday games. Friday being tomorrow, they're probably going to rock a VOD review, and honestly, if you're going to rewatch this game, if things keep going the way they are, you're going to have a lot of happy faces in that VOD review.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 100%. I completely agree. Looking through the notes as well, it looks like Joe Cool is the captain of the team. Smokescreen is the co-captain of Greenville. So those are the ones more than likely calling the shots. And if that is the case, you know, big applause to the Greenville front line, the tank line that is listening to those calls and grouping up when needed. Gonna get an early pick, Smokescreen, gonna find Prozac, and that's gonna open the door to point. Looking to get a capture now, and this could be a very early point for Greenville.
This is so good from Huntington, though, just staying up on that high ground, letting these 2 ticks get taken, and now they're coming back in and actually putting up a decent fight. It looks like Greenville is just finding pick after pick and should end up taking this point, but I really like the way Huntington just stayed back and made this into a long fight, not just committing onto the point the second Greenville got there.
Yeah, and that was smart on Huntington to wait, play at their pace, right? We talk about that a lot. Overwatch is a dance. You have to play at your pace to win the dance. Huntington recognized that they didn't need to jump in immediately, but ultimately, you know, sometimes strats don't go the way you want them to, and when you got Sigma on Roadhog, you know, pulling those hooks, anything's up in the air.
It definitely is, and I'm really interested to see how Huntington defends this point of Blizzard World. They do seem to be the team that uses the geometry of the map a little bit better than Greenville, but right now they are all main, and there is Joe Cool on the Sombra flanking on the high ground. That's a great use of the map from Greenville. We haven't seen very much of that, but getting those backline hacks is key, so this front line can just keep on pushing forward. Now we've got some ultimates, popping the whole hog here through the Ant Matrix, but it's not going to be enough as the DPS for Huntington sit down a pair.
Yeah, Ginger saw Sigma ulting and took him out as soon as that was the case. And I mean, you got a big body, you got a Reaper. Reaper's going to win that every time. Huntington doing a great job holding at this choke point right at these crossroads of where this map is. This is a good point to hold. You just need to look to the right, ensure they're not going around trying to go for the flank, and just watch that sort of main archway after first point. This is a good spot for Huntington. Just need to ensure that they're staying behind their tank line and playing smart.
And this is a good part of the map to remember what's on your left if you're the defending team. You've got this pillar that Doxic is standing right next to, and there's also a great building you can choose to retreat back in, so you don't have to go straight back on Main Street where you're still exposed, you can actually retreat with that natural cover and have a much better chance at keeping your defense alive for the longest amount of time.
Yeah, no, and that is quintessential to Overwatch, is understanding your environment, right? Where you can go, what options are at your disposal. Wow, Blockwoman going for a fat flank and finding Prozac instead. I also think it's interesting that Greenville is still on this Monkey Hog comp when Ginger switched to Reaper at the beginning of this round. I mean, Ginger gets on your front line, it's over.
Yeah, and that is what we were alluding to in the intermission between first and second map, is there seems to be always just one piece missing in this Greenville comp, and right now it's lying in the tanks. One of these members has to switch. I'm not sure which tank is working better, but I am sure that neither is synergizing with the other.
Yeah, T-Brain also now switching over to D.Va, another massive shotgun in your face. You got to switch off these big bodies. Lucky Laddie actually recognizing that. Shoutouts to Lucky Laddie switching over to the Reinhardt for this comp, and I think that that is a much better switch indeed. Now, ult economy, 3 ults to 3 ults. This fight could determine a lot for this series. 3 minutes left on the clock. Greenville recognizes time is ticking, and they have to get in. Ooh, massive apaganda las luces. Lights are out. Sombra's in. Sombra gonna get taken out immediately, though, and Huntington on the reverse. We're seeing the Death Blossom come out from Ginger and halt Greenville's push.
Yeah, Greenville trying to make an EMP an easy fight, but that's never the case here in the NECC. That is probably the most well-tracked ultimate in the entire conference, because everyone knows just how dangerous it is if it goes on unnoticed. But it seemed like Greenville was sitting on it for probably 20 seconds. Huntington was positive that they had that online, and they were ready to respond.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. And they didn't need to use everything to make it happen. Oh, we're going to see a hack out on Prozac. We're going to hear the sound barrier come out from Lucio, trying to mitigate and push in, mitigate some of the damage coming out. Sigma going to throw out the ultimate on... on the whole hog out. Trash Boat going for a fat dive in the back line.
Oh,
he's going to get... Oh, and the shatter!
Oh, the spin, the swag, the Trash Boat came to play.
Yeah, Trash Boat setting sail, if you would.
Yeah, seriously, he has not been docked at all this game. He's just played fantastically so far. Not the Reinhardt in the first map either. That was T-Brain. So both of these tanks clearly can flex back and forth between who main tanks, who flex tanks, and that is great to see in the Navigators division, just to have that depth.
It's imperative to be competent on so many heroes in this game, because Overwatch is a chess where you change your pieces around mid-game. And it's important to know what pieces do what. Oh, seeing an Earth Shatter come out from Lucky Laddie, gonna find a pin. Blockwoman gonna find 2 with the Deadeye as well. T-Brain trying to even it out. Doesn't look like that is going to happen as Greenville finally gets a leg up.
Lucky Laddie going in. They want this kill onto Trash Boat late. If they could get this one, it's going to keep the front line very weak for Huntington to come out of their spawn. This is the one they need right here. Still just backing up Trash Boat. Good immortality field there to keep that main tank alive. Just where he's able to round the corner, and Ginger comes in with a pick. Blossoming in the back line, trying to find more, and Antinade finds another kill onto Lucky Laddie. We've only got 20 seconds to play here. Greenville needs to make something happen fast. They're still in this fight.
Yeah, they are finding Huntington on all angles as well. Huntington doing a great job of pressuring at the same time and making those pinches happen. Ooh, I'm not sure if that was exactly necessary, but you know, if you got an all in all, you might as well shoot it. It was the end of the map. Makes sense, right? You got the nano in your back pocket, might as well throw it on your Rhine. That's a good GG coming out from both sides of the team. Huntington Esports is going to take Blizzard World play of the game, going to Ginger.
This must be the one on third point, coming in from the top rope. A great little teleport, catches everyone unawares. Gets both the supports first and just pieces apart the other team. I mean, we're seeing great DPS ultimates, great tank ultimates, a fantastic sound barrier in round number 1, Nuke. This is a Huntington team that can definitely be proud of the way they've played tonight, but it's not over. This is a best of 5. There's still a chance that Greenville could do one of the craziest things, which is reverse sweep.
Oh, the janitor's outside the door, my friend. I see him trying to get in, but I'm not letting you in, bud. Not until it's starting to go in the other way, you know. But
I know.
We'll be back. I gotta address this janitor that's standing over here. We gotta take a short break. Go grab some popcorn. Go use the bathroom, and come back for some more amazing NECC action. Stay tuned. Stay out there. Bring us back. Stay out there. No, you can't come in. Sorry, guys. I'm still fighting this janitor. Welcome back. We're back with more NECC action. We're over in the Navigators Yellow Division. Huntington Esports has 2 maps up on Greenville University, and this janitor is being a real big annoyance. Alt Charge, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm laughing so hard right now, just trying to contain it because you just completely bamboozled the production team. They brought us back in. They didn't know you were going to do a bit. Yeah, it's good. That guy's got to stay close by. We never know when we're going to need the brooms.
Yeah, he's trying too. I mean, he's looking at me like sweep or reverse sweep, but I'm telling him I don't know yet, right? I think it could go either way, especially in the comps that we've seen from Greenville and Huntington. Both teams have shown their versatility. They've shown what they can do in this series. And as we have the maps in front of us, you've already seen Control gone in the side of Huntington, Hybrid, Blizzard World gone on the side of Huntington. Now we're on Escort. We're on Dorado. Is Greenville going to bring it back?
It's going to be pretty difficult for them. I still haven't seen them play an entire game where they're on a composition that, as a caster, I have a lot of confidence in. In Blizzard World alone, we saw them on that Winston and Roadhog composition for too many minutes. I mean, 30 seconds on that composition is too long. Once one of those tanks dies, you should no longer be on Winston Roadhog. So this is a team that just has to come together and find an agreement on what they want to run. You can't just have those players trying to make their own solo impact on these niche heroes. You really got to just play as a team. This is not the ranked ladder. It's not about the biggest individual impact. It's about who can work better as a team throughout a 5-map game. And right now, that's Huntington by a lot.
It's like the Bear Grylls meme, and improvise, adapt, overcome. Every time when you're playing with the team, if you have someone flanking the backline, in comp, you can't really hey, everyone turn around. There's a Cole Cassidy in our backline, or there's a Genji in our backline. When you're playing in a structured team, it's, hey guys, we got an annoyance in our backline, and everyone turns, right? Or 2 or 3 people turn and take them out. It's a very, very different game. I'm very eager to see what this break has done for Greenville, because like I've also said before, mentality plays a huge role in collegiate esports. And more than likely, if these are newer teams, especially new to the NECC, maybe they don't have that on lock yet. But for teams that do, if you're able to take a step back, and if you're able to take a deep breath, have a good understanding and a good open dialogue with your team in these breaks, you can really turn series around.
Yeah, and Nuke, I don't think Greenville is given up yet. I don't think they have it all. I think they know that tonight is a testing game, and that could be part of the reason we are seeing these weird compositions come out from them, is because they probably haven't quite assessed where their biggest strengths and weaknesses are yet. So that could be something they're trying to find tonight, but I would expect to see them just try and come together and really find what the potential of their team is when they actually get a full composition online, what their best focus fire looks like. And honestly, that could mean something we haven't seen tonight. That could mean they throw in a Zenyatta, and whoever is playing the Zenyatta just shouts what has the Discord, and that could just amplify this team's damage tenfold. So we could see something crazy, Nuke.
They do like to take those 1 or 2 people flanking on the back line. The difference between Greenville's flanks and Huntington's flanks is the pinches coming out and the timing. Greenville just kind of attacks in the back line, as we've seen. It doesn't seem like the coordination is quite there or clicking. However, when Huntington does it, they pinch at the same time. And it seems as now all the players have come back from the restroom. We got Inbatch coming in for Croana on Greenville's side, and we are moving into map 3 on the streets of the lovely Dorado.
We sure are, and I am ready to get this one going. Just so everyone is aware, Greenville on the blue side. Scoreboard's a little bit wrong right now, but just so everyone is aware, Greenville, blue, Huntington, red. Those tanks are looking like Reinhardt's and Roadhogs and Orisas. Honestly, I like the Greenville look a little bit more here, but we have seen Huntington just make a lot of things work for them tonight. So maybe they're just trying to flex some muscles.
Very, very true. And maybe they realize that most Overwatch, or I don't want to say most, some Overwatch teams, when they're ahead, they like to play around with comps or play with what they've experimenting with, which is viable, in my opinion. I think that that's what you do as a team when you are ahead. It looks like they're going to go for some Metro strat, teleport to the top,
dude.
and going around. Oh my gosh, Lucio's
Is this
Are we seeing this Navigator's yellow? That's what I was about to say. What is this strat coming out? They know exactly what to do. Now they pulled a reverse Uno card, and they are on the high ground.
They're on defense. Huntington, you are so esports ready in your debut game. I'm so happy with what I've seen from them tonight.
Wow.
I would really like to see this attack just decimate Greenville. They've got them split, 2 picks down, 1 Anna, 1 May, and now it's just all collapsing from here.
I listen, Kenobi doesn't come out until mid-May, but I wasn't expecting to see a high ground push like that. That was insane. That was just so smart. You wouldn't expect to see something like that at this division, but it goes to show how coaches and how shot callers can make a huge influence on this game. And if you practice these strats, it doesn't matter what division you're in, they are effective.
Yeah, and that was so fast. I mean, Greenville just not prepared for that. I don't know how you can prepare for that. No one in Navigators takes that sim TP, speed boosts to the high ground, and gets that defensive positioning like they did. And that was lightning quick, executed perfectly.
Wow, and the pull coming out from Sigma, pulling 3 together. That anti-nade is going to find 3 as well. Huntington is just taking it up a notch. We thought Greenville might have a good chance to come back and show their comps here, but Huntington is just pushing all-out aggression.
Yeah, they really are. Prozac just stepping halfway through this second point streets phase, finds 2 kills with the help of Doxic in the wings, and just like that, trying to track down this Ana as well. Doxic should get this kill here. That's just great map progression from just 2 players on the Huntington team, and that is textbook how you take space.
Yeah, 100%. And Greenville now on the back foot, hiding around the corner. This is a good choke to be able to hold, so they're going to play their luck here. They almost have Bongo coming up for their Orisa. If they hold it at this corner, this is a good place to utilize it. They have 3 ultimates online. This is their chance to halt, if you will, Huntington's push.
And I liked what I was seeing right there from Huntington still. T-Brain and Prozac are on that left side flank, and they're timing their push pretty well here. That Sound Barrier is going to try and counter this Riptire, but Joe Cool, this is a great job from the Junkrat players just to wait that out. Honestly, a Riptire nowhere near as valuable as that Sound Barrier for this Deathball team. So that's a great ultimate from Greenville, but still just falling apart here. Trash Boat steps up and shatters, and it looks like Prozac has 3 kills of his own. Still just pushing so strong, going to find the second point.
Yeah, and Huntington rolling through this map as of right now. I really liked watching Trashboat and Ginger go and take out Joe Cool's Junkrat tire at the same time. That shows you the level of communication that they have. They knew the tire was in that room and they approached it together. We are going to see ultimate come out from the Orisa Sigma themselves, pushing this frontline Tracer, looking for a pick on that backline, but not finding much. They're going to trade picks. T-Brain's going to find one. Greenville's going to find one of their own as well. Flux is online, and Lucky Laddie is going to the casino. Throwing down one, gonna take down Doxic. Unfortunately, she was not able to live that one. Michael also throwing out the Coalescence, looking for 2 at Greenville and gonna find them as well. Joe Cool trying to keep things up, but not gonna be enough. And Huntington is not stopping for anything. I think this is speed with Kiana Reeves, if I'm honest, Berkeley, because they got a brick on the pedal and they are not letting anything stop them.
No, they're not. They're really just making such great use. That's a great stick there from Blockoman. Can he finish off the Reinhardt here? Unable to get the 1 clip to fall. And that Reinhardt still standing tall. Trashbook gets all that HP back. Prozac is up in the crow's nest on the Soldier 76, and he is not going to be brought down here. Over 3.5 minutes to play, and Huntington doesn't need any of it. They've finished Dorado. And look at all those threes. What a pretty sight.
Sheesh, as these kids say. I think that unfortunately, Greenville, once they were caught on their back foot, they just kept stumbling that round. They couldn't really get a 6-man group to defend without Huntington constantly applying pressure, whether it be in the front line or the back line. Greenville just kind of stuck, and when they went out for that final defense, they weren't able to group up as 6. They had to touch. They had to get out there. Now, granted, in my opinion, they probably could have waited a couple more seconds to push out together on that last point. But that's just so tough to push out of because you have Symmetra throwing turrets around the doorway, and there's really nothing you can do. You just got to go out together, fight as a team. They weren't able to do that. And now they're on the offense, and we will see how it goes in their favor. I'm interested to see if Huntington tries to pull out any cheeky defense strats like they did the offense strats.
I wouldn't imagine they do. I mean, they do have Ginger on the McCree, which isn't something we've seen them play very much this game, but the double hit scan. Sorry? Oh, right.
Who's McCree?
Oh, you can tell that I've just been playing way too much RuneScape and forgetting my bearings here. Ginger on the Cassidy. Let's all be appropriate here. The double hit scan, sitting behind the Reinhardt. You've got 2 stuns in this composition. It's a very solid defensive comp. And Greenville, they have thrown on a Zenyatta. We'll see if that damage amp from the Discord helps them out.
Yeah, I think it will. And we talked about that earlier, right? We talked about how they were liking to play the monkey comp. And Zenyatta can work with that. If they call out who they're Discord orbing, it could have a lot of value for them. Interesting that they're going to go with the Zarya, I almost said Sigma because of the name, but Zarya Roadhog comp. Defense here.
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of places for them to hide from these double hit scans on a high ground, so it's going to be very tough just to get this payload around the very first corner. We'll see if they end up switching a tank. Wow. Honestly, this isn't a composition I hate because Lucky Laddie can throw that bubble onto Blockwoman as he goes for those deep dives, but this first fight, Nuke, just did not work.
That is why they don't call him Amateur Zach. Taking 3 or 4 kills just by themselves. That was a great play, great way to kick off this map from Prozac.
Honestly, I just feel like a doctor every time we say his name. It sounds like a prescription, and right now it is exactly what Huntington has needed all game long.
You could say that Prozac is prescribing the T-pain. Okay, enough. They're grouping up. Greenville's getting ready, looking for another push, and it looks like Joe Cool, keeping composure, hanging out in the back line, trying to get some shots off, maybe some explosives, do what they can. Ginger aggressing. That was a great personal shield coming out from Lucky Laddie, getting some charge. However, ultimates are now coming out. Huntington has 3 more at their disposal as well.
And for Huntington, their Reinhardt player this game is Trashboat. We have seen it be T-Brain on some maps, but I really like the way Trashboat is playing kind of defensively. You can tell that shield is going up when he senses that his hit scan are in danger. That shield has almost never been for him on this Dorado map. He's just played with his HP very well, and he's let those hit scans just step up and tank angles with him. And anytime the pressure is on, that's when he just throws up the shield and backs up with those resources.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting take to watch them play more of the slow ground rather than on the high ground, but I think Trashboat has a lot of trust in the DPS of Huntington to be on that high ground and, get play point of view whenever they need to. Wow, that Roadhog got shredded. Sigma was not able to get not even a second of that whole hog out. Ginger popping ult, getting out of ult, trying to get that reload, tactical reload if you will, on the side of Huntington. And they are keeping the pressure up on Greenville. It is suffocating almost. Greenville not able to find anything. Lucky Laddie is going to have Graviton Surge online here very soon though, and they might be able to combo that with Coalescence or a Riptire to get some value.
Yeah, Nuke, it just doesn't seem to be Greenville's night. I don't want to write them off before this one's over. There still is a minute to play, but Huntington has 5 ultimates up on the board, and they're looking lethal with or without him. That Shatter finds one at the same time as the hook, and it is just piling on right now. Greenville looking weak. They do find a 2K with the Riptire, but still, they've got to fight hard just to get out of spawn.
Yeah, and it's going to get rezzed immediately. Doxic, she came down and was able to res Ginger, so that's really only 1 pick for 2 ultimates. And they didn't really pair it with... They could have maybe found a little bit more value if they were able to pair that with the Graviton Surge. But alas, they have that online now. Blockwoman is going to find a pick on Prozac. I was not expecting that High Noon to come off that fast, but hey, it worked.
Yeah, and there has not been a lot of easy solutions to take care of Prozac up on high grounds. That's a good Graviton Surge going to group up 4, but an Immortality Field. Great placement around the corner. Fantastic lamp placement we're seeing here from X Michael. I mean, that is unbelievable support play. No ultimate needed, just a cooldown to keep 4 players without a shield alive in a Graviton Surge.
Yeah, that was a genius play for sure. Oh, we're seeing Ginger up on the high ground, trying to find something. Joe, cool. Sneaky, coming around with the explosive, gonna find them. Trying to get a pick on the Mercy in the air. However, Sigma not gonna be able to grab that. Going instead, opting for the whole hog. Will it be enough?
Ooh,
they are
no
in overtime.
Here. It's gonna dwindle very fast with no supports to get him back on the point. Huntington finding 3 picks here, and that is it in their debut game. Huntington get the 3-0 sweep over Greenville.
Yep, you can come in now. It's fine. Yep, door's unlocked. Janitor's walking on in, and he's doing what he does best. He's smacking the sweeps. And the doctor is in. Prozac has been subscribed, or prescribed, but you can subscribe to him as well. Been prescribed. And cheeky little, what is this going to be, a 4K? 3K? Almost a 5K.
Almost a 5K. 4 in the feed, a little bit of a helper on that last one. Nuke, I don't think there's too much to talk about here. I mean, if I had to give an MVP, it would go to Prozac, their captain. Told me before the game he was the leader of this team. He is the highest skilled player in terms of his competitive rank, so he definitely showed up to play tonight, led his team well, and they got the dub.
Yeah, I would almost agree with you. However, like we say, behind every great DPS, behind every great tank is an awesome healer. I'm going to give it to Doxic for this series. I think that the reses were clutch. The ultimates, you almost never caught the Mercy out of an ultimate when she decided to, get up, do her Valkyrie thing. And I think that added a lot of value in keeping the front line alive for Huntington. Did they necessarily need it? Maybe not. But I think that those parts really shone through for me. I'm going to throw it to Doxic, but I think Prozac is the obvious other choice.
Yeah, Nuke, I would have gone with Doxic as well. I mean, she played great all night long. And to be fair, I think the Lucio was one of the main differences in these teams. There were times where Greenville had a Lucio in their team composition, but they weren't speed boosting like Huntington was. And that is just the true power of the speed boost. When you're running a Reinhardt, that is when you turn into a bulldozer. And if you're just on heels the whole time and you got your feet in the mud, you will get run over. So Doxic, I could agree with you there. Those two definitely shine the brightest on the side of Huntington.
Yeah, it's all about purpose, right? If you're using an ability, what purpose are you using that ability for? And I think that Huntington just had a lot more purpose-full abilities that they were using, more so than Greenville. The number one thing that I want to see from Greenville moving forward is if there is an immortality field placed down. There was multiple times in the series, you can go back in the VOD. If there's a immortality lamp put down, they are not focusing that lamp. And they had so much value from those ultimates that were coming out. And the lamp was getting thrown down multiple times in the series, even when we saw them Busan, and no one was focusing it. They have got to take out those lamps in order to find that value, because the opportunity is there. But that's what BAP is there for, right? To shut it down as soon as it comes through.
Yeah, great cooldown usages from the Huntington supports. Nuke, that is about going to do it for game number 1, but we are up for game number 2 as it's going to be NECC versus Central College. Do you have any other final thoughts or any other words of kindness you want to give Greenville at some things they could work on just besides shooting lamps?
I think that they played really well in terms of, I think what they need to work on really shine through the communication, collaborating with each other, and pairing off where it's needed. They saw the peak of what is going to happen in this Navigators division. So I think that gives them a little bit more clarity of what they need to purposefully work on moving forward. I don't think it was a bad outing at all. On paper, it says 3-0, but it was very back and forth for the most part. That last map was a little steamrolly, but Huntington coming out swinging in this entire activation into Navigators. Really, the only match they lost in activation was against Cumberland Phoenix, which that'll be a really interesting match to see when we get there. But first, don't let me get ahead of myself. We have to watch NECG, New England College Grims versus Central College coming up very shortly. But like I said earlier, take a break, go get some popcorn, go use the bathroom, anything to leave us with Ult Charge.
No, honestly, Huntington, that was a great job tonight in your debut. A statement game. Navigators Division Yellow has to keep their eye on you. Chat, stick with us as game number 2 is not far off.